Hi, welcome to my video. I'm Jennifer Roberts. You're either catching me on my YouTube channel, True Divine 44, or my Facebook page, True Divine 44. Please like, share, subscribe and comment to help support what I'm doing here. I'm putting out as many general tarot readings in various formats as I can to help support, guide and inspire people. Thank you for all of you who've taken me up on the offer to book a private tarot reading. They've all gone really well and I've enjoyed meeting you all. So much love to all of you, and much love to all of the people who continue to send me private messages of support. It inspires me, so I send you all my love. So today is the 27th of February 2020, and this is the invitation for the energies of the day. It's the collective energies. I'm picking up what I'm picking up via the energy source and translating it through tarot, via tarot, to you. So some of it might resonate, some of it might not. It might all resonate, it might all not. Just take what helps you, take what guides you and inspires you. So excuse my voice, it keeps cutting out. It's a bit of a naughty throat, so it's a bit annoying, so bear with me. The first card being the Eight of Cups. There's this real feeling of needing to let go, needing to move on, really stripping bare the things that don't serve you anymore, knowing that the existence of these things that you need to let go of, the existence of these things that are tearing you down, pulling you down, are illusions. They're only real for as long as you keep putting your emotions and energy into them. Once you start moving away from them and start stopping that channel of energy towards them, they dissolve, they poof, they go. You know, they don't exist anymore. They're not on your resonance. They're not on your frequency, so they don't have any impact on you anymore. But the trick is to see through the illusion and see that actually the reality is that you are in control of what takes up your emotions, of what takes up your time, your thought pattern. So, you know, there's this real intense feeling today of needing to let go of things that don't serve you. One of the other things is to really allow ourselves to be honest with ourselves and strip away the ego. These cups representing different things in our life, and some of them that are really just built up on illusion. They're built up on ego. They're built up on labels and limitations that we've put on them, and they only exist because of the fact that we breathe life into them. A certain aspect of you, or the judgment you have on somebody else, a certain aspect of somebody else, actually only exists because you breathe life into it. Once you stop breathing life into it, it doesn't exist anymore. It's not there anymore. It's not in your consciousness anymore. So there's this real intense feeling of just letting go. And also, especially with what's going on right now, you know, the huge distraction, try and let go of the fears. Don't be trapped in a place where you continue to sit in fear, in anxiety, in worry about what may happen, about what you might contract, about, you know, this, that and t'other. But let go of those fears. Know that it's happening, things are happening around us all the time. Most of it is, just like I said before, the only reason we know about all of this that's going on right now, this virus, etc., is because the media is not just giving out handy factual information that we can all use and that we can all help curb the spread of this thing. It's giving out bombarding, you know, like worry, fear, so that it's real fear porn being put out there, like on a ridiculous rate. And if you cling on to that, there's this anchor. Your emotions are anchored in worry, in anxiety. What happens when you get worried and anxious? Your immune system drops. So, you know, you're more susceptible anyway to the very thing that you've begun to fear because of the fear porn that you're being bombarded with. So there's a real need for courage to walk away from that fear. To know what is going on, yes. Get the facts. Learn how to be safe. See the other remedies, the other things that you can do to boost your immune system, to, you know, do the physical, practical things to keep yourself as safe as possible. But don't live in this fear. Take the advice of this card and move away from that anxiety, because actually a lot of this stuff that's being put out constantly is actually built on illusion. It's built on lies. It's built on over exaggeration in the wrong direction. You know, there's a lot of distraction there. So again, that's an ego in itself. If you buy into it, you know, you're given that life. You're breathing life into it. So there's a real call to let go. The clarifying card for this card is the Page of Cups. You know, so there's this childlike energy, and he's concentrating on something that he really enjoys, something that really inspires him, something that really gets him going, that he wants to get up and do. That excited childlike feeling. He doesn't stay in this worry. He doesn't stay in this confusion like the Seven of Cups, the previous card to this one. He very easily just walks with his one cup, with his one passion, the thing that inspires him, the thing that makes him feel happy. So there's this advice to, in the Eight of Cups, to let go, move away, allow this growth period to move you on to the next phase in your life. And the next phase in your life is something that is passionate for you, something that is enjoyable for you, something that makes you feel like a kid again, something that gives you bliss when you look at it, when you touch it, when you feel it, when you do it. So there's that real call to be like the child, and don't anchor yourself down in these worries. He's not listening to anything else but this cup. He's not feeling anything else and taking any notice of anything else but this cup, this thing that he wants to achieve, that he wants to do. It also represents, this card, the Page of Cups, news coming in, which reflects what I was just saying before, in a way, that, you know, there's this bombardment of news. And while it's important to take certain aspects in, to be aware of what's going on around us, there very much is this call from this other card to balance that out with, don't live in fear, don't get hooked in like a fish, don't do that. Move away from that and go for your true self, your true passions, the things that truly feel like you, that make you feel like you. So that's the first two cards. The second card is the King of Swords. So this guy is authoritative, he's wealthy, but he's very discerning. So it's bringing that discernment in with this Eight of Cups, you know. He knows what to let go of, and he has no fear and no guilt about cutting what he needs to let go of out of his life. It's not that he's not compassionate, but he's very logical. He's very analytical. He deals with facts. So, you know, he can very much weigh up what is serving me in my life, and he can do it almost like a graph in his head instantly. What's serving me in my life? What's not? What's bringing in profit, i.e. happiness, gain? What's bringing in balance and what's not. He'll compare and very easily move to what is working and move away from what is not. This guy is full of discernment. He's kind, but he knows how to delegate. He knows how to lead. He knows how to manage. So wherever he goes, when he's upright, you know, he ends up leading into victory. And then we've got the Six of Wands. So there's this victory. But this card today for me is representing community. Now there's certain people in communities all over that are naturally this King of Swords. They're naturally these leaders, these people who can inspire, and people who can delegate, people who know what role to put everybody in order to get the most optimum outcome. So I really feel like, instead of concentrating on the fear porn and concentrating on what the government's doing, the advice that they're giving, then the contradictory advice that they're giving, actually they don't know what they're doing. So why not, you know, seek these people out, or people like this in communities. This is a call for you to stand up now, to put yourself forward as a leader, to maybe, you know, start up just a small community food bank where you all put a little bit in each week. Something that makes you feel like you're doing something that if you never need it, then it doesn't matter. If you do, then great, you've done it. But bringing the community together, you know, so these people standing up as leaders, as delegators, true leaders of the people, not the higher ups in governments, but the just grassroots people. And these people in this card for me representing the community, you know, really having that victory of feeling like they've come together, that they've pulled together. When there's lots of things going on and lots of worries going on, actually the blessing of it is that we can go back to a time where small communities knew each other and pulled together. We weren't so separated, we weren't so segmented, you know, in our own homes and in our own lives. We were part of it, we were part of the everything, and we all benefited from it, and we will benefit from it again if we can pull together and recognise these people who are trying their best, putting their time in to set things up, you know, set groups up, set clubs up for kids, things like that, you know, bringing it back down to community level and respecting each other for our individual qualities. And that's what this guy's really good at doing. He's really good at seeing the nitty-gritty of the individual, what the individual holds, what skills they have, what skill set they can go and do, how best to put them to work. He's a real hard worker and he's very ethical. So for me, he knows law, he represents law, but at the same time, in this reading, I feel like it's more the law of the community spirit, i.e. we help the most vulnerable, but we see each other as equals, that we pull together and, you know, respect everything that each can bring, that we're inviting to people, that they're open and honest with the dealings that we have with each other. So it's a real call that right now, the plus side with everything that's going on, we can be reminded to pull together as a community, as a family, just as human beings, and see the love that can be created between two strangers when they work together to do something that the greater all will enjoy or use or benefit from. So it's a real powerful calling. To not panic, but actually use it as an opportunity to gain strength within small individual communities that can come together, that can merge together, that can work together and blend together. Wouldn't that be nice? So the Six of Pentacles is the last card, and this is all about generosity, reciprocity, you know, balance. You don't have to give exactly the same as that you received, but you know that it's balanced in that, you know, you give something that somebody else can use and appreciate and maybe need, and you know that you're giving something back exactly the same way, whether that's time, whether that's kindness, whether that's money, whether that's food, shelter, whatever it is, there's that reciprocity there. This card sees where there's a need, and you know it works hard to deliver that need, however that may be. So that's a real beautiful card of, you know, appreciation of others, appreciation of the give and take, of the balancing of the scales between people, between things, you know, that we can really work together to make things happen. There's also the with the clarifying card is the Hierophant. This is a major arcana, the number 5. So, you know, a little bit of change, the change in number, the midway number, things are afoot. So we've got 5 and 6 here. So, you know, this card also represents for me like patronage, you know, a community also. So this card in the Hierophant, the major arcana, he is... he's a leader of sorts, and he spreads knowledge and wisdom to those who are ready to listen, to those who are ready to receive, to those who can understand. He's the spiritual teacher, but he's not only the spiritual teacher, with all of the symbolism that he has in this card that I've explained before, and I won't explain again today for my throat, but with all of the symbolism that he has, is the bridging card between all realms, you know, the esoteric, the mesoteric, and the exoteric. He bridges that gap. He can bring down spiritual knowledge that can truly be used in this 3D existence, that can truly be understood and put into practice in this 3D existence. And he's all about community. He's all about tribe. So where he is here, the 5, and this is the 6, this really does speak to me, this reading of taking today and all the days after this as an opportunity to not panic, to not dwell, to not stay in the same place, but be the 5, be the bridge, be the change. This is the hump, if you like, and there's a real calling and opportunity for us to reconnect with the people that live around us, reconnect with the people that, you know, we can find strength from and give strength to, and see how much more connected we can feel with our surroundings. You know, I live in the UK, and in a town that is known as one of the friendliest towns in the world, I think, and we are. But I look back at photographs and listen to stories of people that used to live here. And, you know, things were tough. You know, material things were tough. People were poor. And obviously they still are, but it's in a different way. But, you know, there was much more, it seems to me, or from the reminiscing that I've heard of people, that there was much more community spirit, that actually because of the lack of material wealth, it forced and then made people to come together, to work together, to provide for each other, and recognise skill sets in each other, you know, to get the houses done properly, to fix things around the home, to work together to produce food or heat, you know, with the coal. So in a way we've gotten a little bit too far away from that, because I live here now, and although I can smile and say hi to most people that I pass where I live, which is lovely, and I can still stop, I'm very lucky that I live here in a way, because I can still stop and talk to many and have deep, meaningful, or just happy, blissful conversations with complete strangers, you know, and make each other's day. But I remember even as a kid, my mum doing that more so. You know, people knowing each other, knowing what each other were about more so, because they were more connected, you know, because they needed each other. They had each other in their lives, you know, babysat for each other, worked for each other, you know, worked for a dinner, or, you know, so that we've lost a lot of that. And I wonder when humanity will be able to balance out to the point where it doesn't take a crisis, it doesn't take huge lack in order for humans to remember that one of the core lessons is to appreciate each other, to help each other, to love each other, to communicate with each other, to have compassion and empathy for each other. It's a shame that it always seems to take a looming crisis, or a lack, a crisis, a war, or something that, you know, that forces people together. You know, I would love it if I could see a time in Europe where it didn't take lack. There was just this deep knowing within people, this spiritual knowledge, this connection to all realms, to all possibilities, to connection to self, connection to the whole self, the trinity of self, so that we don't need hard times, we don't need imposed difficulties to know the truth about the importance about just continuing to be a community, continuing to look out for each other, continuing to support each other. So on the bottom of this deck, sorry for that rant, but I'm not sorry. On the bottom of this deck is the Hangman, you know, so this is the guy who is the opposite of panic. He's hanging there, he's contemplating, he's being very, very discerning, and he's watching and waiting, and he's using his intuition rather than intellect to guide him, to show him what he needs to, eventually get down off that rafter and act upon, what he eventually needs to get down off that rafter and move away from, but also just completely seeing things in a different perspective, to be able to say exactly the whole rant that I've just had, to be able to have something that would seem, before he got up on this rafter and turned himself upside down, would seem like a crisis, would seem terrible. How can you find the blessings in that? And he goes and hangs upside down, lets the blood go to his head, opens up that third eye, and all of a sudden he can flip it around and say, well, hold on a minute. Every time there's lack, every time there's opposition, communities remember to come together. People remember to appreciate the people they live next to, or check up on them to see if they're okay, or if there's anything they can share or do or say. That's what this guy's doing, and that's what we all need to be doing today and all the days thereafter. To see things from a different perspective, to look through the veil, the surface layer of things, particularly the surface layer of mainstream media, and the propaganda that they put forward, to really see things from the whole perspective, completely different perspective. And then on the bottom of the deck, on the other deck, we have strength, the strength card. So, for me, within this reading, this represents, it's the gentle force, it's La Force. And where this lion could be ferocious, quick to act, go too far violence-wise, this lion is measured. This lion is connected with this lady, and she has the capacity to channel that force, but balance it out and put it out in a way that it turns out to be the same force, but a gentle force. So what could this force, this strength do for us within this reading? It could absolutely represent the fact that, things have gotten so far that, can we go in like a fierce lion and make the people that have harmed others answerable to what they've done, the setup that they've made? No, we can't. We haven't got the power. We haven't got the strength to do that. We haven't got the arms power, particularly in the UK. But for what is meant for harm with this card has the wisdom to know that what's meant for harm actually can be turned around for good. And the good is that gentle force of love and compassion, understanding, people coming together against the odds, people having camaraderie, with all of the different aspects of this reading, seeing things from a different perspective, seeing through the illusion, having the discernment of the King of Swords, the spiritual connection and the teachings of the Hierophant, and bang, this gentle force that just keeps on pushing, keeps on expanding. People start to see, well, hey, they've got it all figured out, let's do something in this side of the town, let's do something in that side of the town. Before you know it, this is a force to be reckoned with, because it's a collection of people that aren't fierce and angry like the lion, but they're forceful and persevering, persistent like this lion and this lady connected together. So let's do that. Let's try that today. Try it with your loved ones to start off with, to practice it. And let's see what we can make of this crisis that's going on. Let's see what we can make of this time. I think this is a time of real positive change, a time where people are going to remember who they are and what they are, how powerful they are, how spiritual they are, how energetic they are, that we can channel energy, for goodness sake. I help people do it all the time. So, there's that, again, that hidden gentle force the force from underneath, you know, the from grassroots rising. So I've ranted on a lot, I know. So I hope it resonated with you. I hope you take it in, and I hope I see this happening. I hope I see this going on. I certainly would be part of it. Of course I would. So I hope it inspires and guides you and supports you today. And I'm sending you all much, much love. Please hit me up if you want a private tarot reading in any of the contact details above or below. We also you can message me on Messenger, on Facebook, as long as you put whatever service it is that you want in capital letters, just so I can see, so it doesn't get lost in the other messages. You know, like reading, energy work, and then I can get you hooked up ASAP. We'll have fun, get to know each other, and I hope to speak to you all very, very soon. Much love. Be balanced and be whole. Mwah.